I supposed to do now? Okay, so I was going to make a plain 50% PSG instrument. I'm going to do this really quick. Okay, so basically you can do that on PSG 1, 2, or 3. So that what you do is go into your instruments here, and then you'd say, okay, let me make a new number 2. Now, he didn't put a dedicated instrument editor. What, am I saying something stupid?
Number 2.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know. Okay, so PSG instruments, basically, he didn't put like a separate editor for that. I think that probably will come in the future. But what you do is you just use the oscillator number 4, attacks to stay ADSR basically to make your PSG instrument there. So we'll do the same exact thing, but all you got to do is make it with 4 here. Okay, so now we know 2. So basically I'm going to put, so now you heard something there, right? Make sure that's on 1, right? I think, let me see, instruments. 2, sorry, so this on 2. Okay. I don't like major. So. That sounds like shit, but whatever. You get the idea. Now you're getting a 50% pulse width in there that's just kind of sustaining in there. So you can definitely make a cooler envelope than just having it sustain like that. Yeah. So. Also, the other thing to think about when you're using the ADSR on this program is there's a lot. If you see these stars that I'm putting in the bass line over here, this is a note off basically. After you hit the note off, the note can still stay ringing. In the release, basically. I actually never turn the release on for my instruments because I like to use that note cut a lot. So if you want to just have like something that would be more like an 8-bit thing, just don't even use the release on the ADSR. Just use sustain. It'll work out for you. So yeah, now I'm going to skip over all the noise instruments on the PSG. There's 3 different modes for that. I was going to go over them, but I don't think we're going to have time, because I want to kind of speed through the rest of this, because we got to get started at open mic. So, yes. Okay, so you can apply effects, and whoops, what the hell? Okay. So, yeah, you can also apply effects. I was going to do this to some of the other things. And then some of the effects actually need repetitive zeros to keep it going. And that's way different than LSDJ or Family Tracker if you're used to that. That is, I think it might be something left over from Fast Tracker or one of those mod trackers or something like that. But yeah, you can apply lots of different effects basically. But remember, read the effects explanation. You might actually have to just, say you put like an effect that's like, says like 1, 0, 1, I don't know, pitch going up would be like 1, 1, 1 or something like that. 1 means go up, and then the 1 and the 1 after that would be maybe like the value or how fast it was doing that. And if you wanted to continue to go up, you'd actually have to write on every single frame after that 1, 0, 0. And 1, 0, 0 is like a failsafe to kind of keep the effect going. So once you want it to stop, then you just stop putting it. So say you wanted to go up for like a beat and then stop, you would just continuously put zeros underneath the effect until it stopped, and then you guys can figure it out. If you want to email me questions about these things, it's no big deal. I'm pretty receptive to this. I'm a nerd. I like to talk about this stuff till I'm blue in the face. Okay, so special features for the YN2612. There's all sorts of other crap that you can do with it, little tweaks and things like that. There's a LFO. There's something special you can do with track channel 3 with the multi-frequency mode. But yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff. So I don't know. Who cares? You just got to read the manual. So yeah, these are the effects that he was actually asking, or he left. But this is how you would actually automate some of the knobs. That's what, if you're familiar with any modern things like Reason or something like that, you can automate the knobs with that in the middle of a sound to get something like a filter sweep or something like that. You can do that by changing the knobs with these effects things in the effects column right here. So you can see this says modify the total level of operator number 4 on your instrument. And there's all sorts of other things. Note retrigger, note cut, note delay, modify the feedback. You can set the speed of the song. That's the one great about this tracker that I don't really like is the speed options. I think Glenn and me bitched about that a lot. You can't get a specific BPM. It's much like these old C64 trackers where they give you a couple, they don't give you all the gradients of all the tempos in between. So you're kind of stuck with certain gradients that you can't get in between with. So, but just makes you have to be a little bit more creative and stuff. So, so yeah, that's it. So you can get control of the knobs and everything. So yeah, although FM editing is like heavily math-based, it's based on ratios between oscillators. It's possible to edit with no math, like what I was doing before, basically. But if you want to get hardcore about editing patches using math, then you might want to get a DX series instrument. Like the FB01 is a great module, or the DX7 or the DX100. These are all Yamaha things made in like the 90s and early 80s, basically. And there's a really good book that John Chowning and Dave Bristow wrote about FM synthesis, entitled FM Synthesis and Applications. It was suggested to me by Alex Maurer. He makes some pretty awesome sounds with this FB01 module, which has a similar sound chip to the Genesis. But he tried to make all these crazy drum sounds here. They sound like Casio or something like that. So you can make sounds that sound pretty awesome. These are pretty awesome patches. Here he's trying to mimic like a PSG type sound, but it's coming out of an FM sound. So it sounds sort of 8-bit, but then when that bell sound comes in, you know it's an FM chip. There's one of its strengths is really the bell sounds, you know, or like I hate to say, but the Doogie Howser theme is an FM synthesizer, but don't use it like that, guys. Okay, that's not cool.
Tubes or bells?
Yeah, I don't know what he's trying to mimic there, but he gets really in depth. He does all that shit with math, really. Like he has a waveform in mind, and then he knows the math that will go underneath of it to get there. So I got pretty much respect for him. I kind of don't do it with the math because I'm not that great at it, but I just use my ear and kind of mess around a lot. So also too, editing takes really long, and it kind of sucks if you have like a specific thing in mind from a game. So you can actually just take those patches from games. I actually wrote a little thing on chipmusic.com, and it shows you how to rip the FM patches from the Genesis ROMs. So if you go to Chip Music and you just search ripping samples from Genesis bin ROMs, you can see I have like a step-by-step thing right up here if you want to try it. The emulator that you use to do it is a modification of the Gens emulator. It's Gens Kmod, and so yeah, it's just some dev guys basically tricked it out so that you can look at all the different things that are going on inside the emulator. So yeah, you can literally load them back in, or take them out, and I think it gives you some kind of weird file ending, basically, when you dump it out of the emulator, and then you can literally just load it right back into the tracker. It'll just open up. You know, there's like a little file thing where you can kind of open it up. So I stole some Matt Furnace instruments for my release Trenchbed. The Aliens 3 bass that you heard before, I stole it from Matt Furnace. Oops. It sounds good. So yeah, this is a little guy stealing some samples. Yeah. I was going to do this. I was going to open up a Sonic ROM and then rip some instruments and then put them back in, but that's going to take a while. So whatever, screw it. Cool. All right, guys, let's do open mic.